Hello, my name is Dalton Faulk. I'm here to tell you about my time at the Boys and Girls Club. First off, a little introductory about myself. I'm a senior here at ETSU, a biology major, and a leadership minor. I graduate in the spring and hope to go. I'm taking a gap year and then we'll go into medical school after that. So to tell about the Boys and Girls Club, first off, I was really glad. I really didn't think that this would be something that I would get into as much as I did. However, after getting involved, I became more and more active as it went on, and I've become to enjoy it a lot. So the Boys and Girls Club of Johnson City, Washington County, it's located at 2210 West Market Street. This is right across the street from Chick-fil-A or behind the Jimmy John's. The club started out in 1944 by the Salvation Army and started as the Red Shield Boys Club. It later on merged with the Jackie Robinson Boys Club in 1963 and becoming a part of the Boys Club of America. The name officially changed to the Boys and Girls Club of Washington County in Johnson City in 1996. The names did not originally include girl, they were mostly just boys clubs, and the girls part came later. The Boys and Girls Club was established, or should I say Boys Club, in 1860 in Hartford, Connecticut by three women. Elizabeth Hammerlessly, Mary, and Alice Goodwin. They were later received an award for their efforts and everything they did to get the organization started. They met in 1906 in Boston and officially started the Federated Boys Clubs of America. Later on, there was another name change, as I said, in 1990 to the Boys and Girls Club. This means that this past year, they celebrated over their 150th anniversary. The agency exists to help the youth in the community and to keep them safe in a learning environment and off the streets. The agency offers many learning environments, such as specifically here we have, quote, Club Tech, which is all kinds of computer elements and games where the students would not otherwise get access to. We have sports science, which teaches about exercise, but not only just physical exercise, but the science behind it, and a little bit more teaching. We have a teen room, and then we also kind of have a de-stress room. We have 2 gyms available as well, and then all of this is offered for just a $20 annual fee and $2 to $20 weekly, depending on. There's also many opportunities that are offered on breaks and stuff. For instance, over fall break, we took them to Fender's Farm, and many students' first time and only time they may get to go. The Boys and Girls Clubs are all around the United States, and they serve the various communities around them. There's over 4,700 clubs, and they serve over 4.7 million people a year. The main problems that I see in the club of Johnson City specifically is in families that not only use the club for the child care, but rely on it for food, clothing, and other gifts as well. And they rely on it to pretty much so raise their child. And then on the other hand, I'll see what you would call average children. These children who come in and you can tell newer clothes that are not any type of hand-me-down, new shoes, and then they'll come in, usually cell phones, new-to-date stuff, so you can tell that they're not financially struggling as well. They're mainly just there to be held until the parents can get off work. Therefore, I think the root problem in my area is a lack of jobs or lack of motivation to work. The club is funded both locally or individually wise and federally. Federally, it's funded 1/3 of its funding, and it's specifically $74 million out of $174 million. Anyone can donate to the club. Many organizations and corporations donate. That's where another 1/3 of the donations come from. And then they also get some of their money due to as mentioned, the fees that are coming in and the dues due each week. Is the funding sufficient, and how would extra funds be used? Based on my opinion, I do not think that the funding is sufficient. The building is in very poor condition. There's numerous air condition problems, leaking points, and the outside, as I would call the curb appeal, is very low. To be honest, I didn't even think the organization was still being used as much as it was. So therefore, I believe if they were to get extra funds, they should put them towards the building, update it, make everything up to par. This way it can extend the longevity of the program and make sure it's there for future generations. Preconceptions about the population and agency. I thought that everything was going to be more of just the underprivileged and not so much of the regular, as I mentioned, regular status or above poverty line. But there are many just mix of children. There's a good diversity, which I also did not expect, and then it's much larger. I was expecting 20 to 30 kids on my first time, and then however to have over 120 was a big surprise. It was all pleasant, and also, although they might have bad looks on the outside, they have good resources and numerous stockpiles, but most of these are not being used properly, either due to just misfiling and them being lost or lack of volunteers. If I was to make any changes, first thought, I was affected by it because I became more knowledgeable of my community. I like that. As mentioned, it was something that the longer I was in it, the more I got involved. I became more aware of the young. I wanted to work with the young. When I become older, I wanted to specifically go into pediatric medicine. Therefore, this time has been very valuable for me to be around the children, learn, watch them, see how they, function. Lastly, I also did not realize the impact of nonprofits. I knew they were used, but I did not recognize who all used them. And then the ways that they work with each other. The Second Harvest Food Bank works to donate food often. So from now on, I can definitely say I'll be not only more apt to volunteer, but more apt to donate when I can. Something unique about my agency, I like the way that they specifically focus on making the young boys and girls into proper gentlemen and ladies, and they'll make sure that they'll be functional members of society. Their motto, just to be respectful, be polite, and they'll take the time to sit down with any trouble to get to the root cause of it and learn what the problem is. And then if there is a problem, they'll take the time to discuss what it is, what happened, what should not happen, and then the proper steps to fix it. So if I was to make any changes about my organization, the only change I would make is for the rule to get seconds of food. I've often served snack there, and to see numerous kids come in and be able to give them food and then them come back and ask for more and have to say no is very tough. Sometimes we have the food available and sometimes we don't. However, I think it would be easy to make it available, and I'd much rather throw it away than to send a kid home hungry. However, we do well, and whenever we have a large surplus of food, we'll plate it out, wrap it up, and have to-go plates for the kids. They often take advantage of these and we'll take them home. So I know that they're going to be used, and that when the children ask for seconds, they most likely are going to eat it and not waste them. My stories at the organization. This is a picture from when we went up to Fairway Ford. They had a big March of Dimes fundraiser program. So we went out for that. This is some of the faculty. Actually, the local president and CEO, Robin, is pictured here. Some of the extra co-workers. Also extra stories. I didn't want to put a picture in with one kid because I figured it would be unfair when I asked him at the club. However, I've met one kid, Bryce, who's a good friend of mine. He's third grade, and then he'll come in, and then the first time, second time he saw me, I guess his first thing he said was, "Glad you're there, glad you're back." And then now he says, "Don't leave us, don't leave us." And it makes it tough, and I'm glad to make a friend and really make that connection. It definitely makes it a lot better.